Finally, we're on to year 4 of Superpowers by Drew Hayes. This is the final book in the series and follows the main characters into their senior year of this hero certification college program. So there are a number of things going on in the characters' lives this school year. For one thing, both the university campus and the student body are still recovering from a major attack the year before that has left quite a few people pretty shaken and some people quite angry or dealing with loss. Then there are elements of the program itself. So as seniors, they now have to pick their actual heroes specializations. So they drop down their focuses to one, and that's the one that they're going to be trying to graduate in. Like, this matters because it affects which courses you have to get high scores in. So for instance, if someone is a close combat major, then you're not really expected to, say, take subtlety classes or to score high. But if you're a subtlety major, like whether or not you rank really high in combat, power and stuff is not necessarily that important. We also have problems in the student body where there's a group that's trying to campaign for getting rid of the HCP program. Like, they don't want hero trainees on campus because they blame them for the events of the year before. Seniors also take on some of the responsibilities like that come with being seniors in this program. Like, for instance, the main characters will now be overseeing the opening initial combats or fight between the first year students, like the seniors in their own year did for them. They also have to look for internships, because typically after someone graduates from the certification program, they need to intern under a professional hero for 2 years before they can really strike out on their own. And a really important element of this process are their monthly exams. So in previous years, they've only had like major midterms and finals, but in this case, they're actually being major exams at the end of every month, and these exams are meant to simulate different situations that they might face in the field as professional heroes. So they don't know beforehand what the scenario is. So, but once they get dropped in, they get stipulations. For instance, if a city is under attack and there's a specific target you need to get rid of. And they also specify, like, on the spot, I suppose, like whether or not you're supposed to work in teams, whether or not you're supposed to be fighting one another, and everything is meant to try to like put them in the mindset of what it would take once they are actually out in the field, and also to know how to balance the priorities between like what their mission goals are and minimizing casualties, among other things. So finally, a major event for seniors is the intramurals competition. Like, at the end of the year, they always hold a competition between the different HCPs where the top 3 or 4 students, depending on what school it is and who is hosting at the time, compete against one another to see who out of the schools, this year turned out the strongest student. And also just to give heroes a chance to witness like how far they've come. Oh, because as part of these exams and competition, professional heroes are allowed to come and watch. So you also get to meet a lot more of these people as the students like also mingle with them and try to figure out what their best internship options are. Oh, and they're also trying to find code names. I guess it's like this running theme through the story, like where they're trying to figure it out, and not like super important, but it is always a little interesting to see what people end up picking. And of course, it does have like the culminating event of like the major villains that the previous books have been pursuing. So something I liked. I really liked the exams this year. Like, they were a lot more interesting to read about, especially because a lot of them, they had to work in groups. like the different, going through cities and dealing with different types of crimes and situations. I think that was really interesting to read about, especially at this point when there's like a fewer number of characters and you're familiar enough with like what kind of people they are and the kind of abilities that they have, and seeing how they figure out how best to work together to accomplish the goals that they are set. So I really enjoyed that part. Something I did not like. I think I would prefer to have not learned the truth about like their past conspiracies. Like I mentioned in a previous review, that a major part of like the ongoing background stuff revolved around the case of a hero murdering another hero in the past, and like how those the people involved have connections, like are related to many of the students and stuff in the class, like finding out the truth of what happened in that conspiracy and like how all of it unfolded and continues to affect today is a major part of the more villain lines, I guess. And I think the bad guys were so twisted that I'm still kind of scrubbing it from my memory. And I think I would have, it's not the kind of bad guy and so on that I would have anticipated in a college story.